So, flashback to CES 2018, and there was a couple of announcements that came out of that really caught the filmmaking world's attention. And one of them was a gimbal from DJI, which is this one here, it's the Ronin-S. I've managed to get my hands on a pre-production model, which I've got here today. Now, I do need to stress it is a pre-production model, so it's not all there, but hopefully it should be enough to give me an idea as to how this thing operates, the feel of it, the weight of it, the build quality, and how easy it is to get some smooth shots out of it. So, let's see what this thing can do.
So let's start things off at the bottom of the gimbal, which is basically a mini collapsible tripod. Of course, it is removable, so if you want a more compact rig, then you can. Or if you want to attach the gimbal to a tripod, then underneath is where that thread is. From my time using the Ronin-S, I have enjoyed using the gimbal with this tripod as it does provide another point of contact for two-handed operation. And it's also an easy way to set it down in between takes. The main handle of the Ronin-S also doubles up as the battery. There's a 4-light LED indicator at the bottom, and to charge, there's a single USB-C connection towards the top front of the grip. So the Ronin-S separates into two halves. You've got the bottom half, which is in essence the battery / handle, and then you've got the top half, which consists of the controls and the actual gimbal itself. And to connect these two halves together, you've got a very simple yet reassuringly strong locking mechanism.
Now, it's the same sort of locking mechanism that you see on the Ronin 2. Very sturdy and very easy to slide in and lock into place. Now, the fact that the battery is housed in here and not on this unit means that if you want to mount this to like a remote control car or any other support systems, it's going to be incredibly versatile because you can mount that straight on there with that same locking mechanism.
At the very bottom of the gimbal section, we've got the mode selector button and 3 LED lights that indicate what mode we're operating in. And these are all customizable too. Unfortunately though, because this is a pre-production model, I can't actually jump into any of those settings, as they'll all be controlled from within the app. That, at the time of recording this video, just wasn't available yet. If you press and hold that mode button, the indicator light turns orange, and this turns the Ronin-S into its sports mode, which will increase the responsiveness of the motors to keep up with faster motion. What's nice about the Ronin-S is that it'll be able to communicate with selected cameras. So there's also a trigger record button on the handle as well, so it just means that you don't need to be touching your camera once it's on the stage for when you need to start and stop your take. Now on the front of the gimbal there is a trigger button just at the top of the handle, and it's one that looks similar to a trigger button that you'd get on any game console.
You can triple tap it, it'll go into selfie mode. If you double tap, it will realign it so it centers the camera again. If you click and hold, that R2S style button, if you're a gamer, then you'll know what I mean, then it fixes the point of interest. So if you find something that you like, you just want to keep it on there, go in, and then you can let go, and then you can pan away. So it just means that it's quite flexible for when you're walking around. But yeah, I mean, it's best used for when you're doing low to high. So if I click that in place now, bring it down all the way to the bottom, and up like a little jib shot, actually works really well. You don't have to change any of your settings, it's just a click of a button, which is great. Probably the most noticeable design about this gimbal is that the roll motor has been positioned 45 degrees to the camera stage, so it's much lower. So it means that when you're filming with a Sony A7 like I've got on here today, which doesn't have a fully articulated screen, you can actually see what you're shooting. Although saying that, it's a very bright day today, so I'm still slightly guessing, but in most circumstances you can see the back of the screen, especially if it's not too bright out, which is a huge win.
Now DJI have said that the maximum tested payload capacity is rated at 3.6 kilograms, which is rather impressive for a gimbal of this size. Now I've been using the Ronin-S with this Sony A7R Mark II with a 28mm f2 prime lens. But with that sort of weight capacity, the Ronin-S should be able to support larger video cameras such as your Canon C200s or your Sony FS5s. And those powerful motors can operate at up to speeds of 75 km/h, or roughly just under 50 mph. So mounting it on a vehicle should prove no bother to get those smooth shots. Now accessories are going to be pretty much the major selling point for the Ronin-S. We've already seen a few reiterations of the follow focus unit that's been on show us at the video expos, and I've actually still got one mounted to the gimbal, which you can see here. Underneath that focus wheel is one of 2 accessory mounts that can pass on information as well as power. And that's how most of the accessories are going to communicate and attach to the Ronin-S. Now DJI have already announced that they'll be launching a focusing system, which you can obviously see the actual focusing wheel attached to this Ronin-S. And that's for use with cameras that are using electronic lenses, but they'll also be releasing a focus motor should you want to run cine-style lenses that don't have any electronics. There are a few other notable announced accessories such as the wireless video transmitter and the DJI Master wheels for more precise control. On the camera stage there's also some useful connection ports. Directly under the camera lens are 2 ports for both data and power at up to 12 volts, so it should make for powering those accessories fairly straightforward. And speaking of that power, the Ronin-S batteries can provide power to that gimbal for up to 12 hours on a single charge, which is more than enough for a full day's shoot. Now one thing I've not been able to try is of course the app, because it wasn't released when I had this pre-production model. But it's in that app where you'll be able to delve into the settings and really fine-tune the gimbal so it'll behave how you want it to behave for the shot that you want to achieve. But you'll also get some useful automated creative features such as panorama, time-lapse, motion-lapse, and intelligent tracking. Overall, it does feel like a solid premium product, and with DJI's track record of gimbals, I'm sure it's going to be a very well adopted piece of kit. So I hope you found this first look useful, and to keep up to date with the Ronin-S, head over to wex.co.uk.